The most compelling characters in fiction are those who face internal battles greater than the external ones they fight. Omni-Man from Invincible and Reiner from Attack on Titan are two such characters. They are powerful warriors torn between duty and their morality. They are incredibly similar characters who struggle between who they are expected to be and who they choose to become. A struggle I believe a lot of people can relate to. They both start off as loyal warriors from their homelands, infiltrating a foreign enemy land, and while living amongst its people, they develop a soft spot for them. This results in them feeling conflicted and unsure of their mission. On the one hand, they have a duty to fulfill. For Omni-Man, he must conquer Earth for the Viltrumite Empire. For Reiner, he needs to capture the founding Titan for the nation of Mali. While living in these foreign lands, the relationships and even the new identities they form makes their missions a lot more complicated. Omni-Man meets Deborah, a human, and eventually becomes a father. Reiner becomes a reliable big brother figure to the other members of the Survey Corps. They form genuine relationships with the people they were told to overlook. These bonds complicate their missions and force them to confront painful questions about morality and the true cost of loyalty to one's duty. But how they respond to this internal conflict could not be more different. As a Viltrumite, Omni-Man was raised with a militaristic mindset. He was trained to be a ruthless warrior for the sole purpose of conquering planets for Viltrum. He was sent to Earth under the mission of observing and eventually taking over the planet for the Viltrumite Empire. This ends up putting him at odds with the peaceful life he ends up building on Earth. Despite appearing as a loving husband, father, and hero, his true purpose and inner conflict start to unravel over time. His role as a Viltrumite warrior is defined by loyalty to his home planet, but living on Earth forces him to confront emotions and values that challenge everything he was taught. There is a flashback scene where we see Deborah tell Nolan about the joy of being a parent, and Nolan eventually opens up as they both cheer on a young Mark at a baseball game. Nolan begins to show warmth and compassion, traits that are completely foreign in Viltrumite society, as they serve no benefit to the expansion of its empire. The identity of the ruthless Viltrumite warrior starts to become blurred with the loving dad identity. Reiner's story is very similar. He also happens to be my favorite character in Attack on Titan. From a young age, Reiner was indoctrinated into Mali's propaganda. He believed that becoming a warrior and inheriting one of the 9 Titans to fight for Mali would relieve him and his mother of their supposed sins of the past. As an Eldian, he is treated as a second-class citizen. Becoming a warrior would grant him respect and improve his social class. He also believed that this would cause his father to accept him. Reiner never knew his father, a Malayan man who abandoned him due to the stigma of having a child with an Eldian woman. After successfully becoming a Malayan warrior, Reiner, along with his comrades Bertolt and Annie, infiltrate the Eldian island of Paradis in order to take back the founding Titan. This was their mission. Reiner joined the Survey Corps on Paradis in order to gather more information about the founding Titan. But in doing so, he begins to develop genuine bonds with the people he and his nation considered to be devils. This is where Reiner's inner conflict begins. When Omni-Man's son, Mark, develops his superpowers, Omni-Man decides that it is now time to resume his mission as a Viltrumite warrior. He starts off by killing the Guardians of the Globe. Eventually, when Mark finds out, Omni-Man tries to recruit him on his cause. Mark refuses, so Omni-Man beats the ever-living shit out of him, but is not able to bring himself to kill him. By choosing to kill Mark, he kills off his connection with Earth. By sparing him, this connection continues to live on, thus making the conquering of Earth a much more personal and complicated decision. Omni-Man's love for his son is much stronger than his allegiance to Viltrum, so he chooses to abandon his mission. For Reiner, he develops a split personality. The Survey Corps soldier, who is a leader and a big brother figure, and the Marleyan warrior, who has a mission to complete for the pride of his people. In the big reveal in Season 2, where Reiner outs himself and Bertolt as the armoured and colossal titans, he is unsure of what is right and wrong. His life as a soldier has caused him to question the very reason as to why he was sent to Paradis Island in the first place.
Damned if I know what's right anymore. No choice but to face what I've done.
But ultimately, he chooses to be a warrior, to fulfill his duty regardless of his personal feelings. Both of these characters attempt to find a middle ground and try to reason their way into accomplishing their missions without hurting the ones they care about. Omni-Man tries to recruit his son. Reiner peacefully asks Eren to come with him and Bertolt back to their homeland. Omni-Man loves his son, and Reiner develops bonds with his fellow soldiers in the Survey Corps. They don't necessarily want to hurt these people, but they have a duty to fulfill. But a firm decision needs to be made. They cannot have it all. Omni-Man chooses to reject his duty as a Viltrumite warrior in favor of his family. He spares Mark and leaves Earth. Whereas Reiner chooses to fulfill his duty as a Marleyan warrior, regardless of his personal feelings. A decision not made lightly, and it does break him. Who is right and who is wrong are a bit blurred here, as both of their decisions make perfect sense. Who is to say Omni-Man is wrong for choosing his own flesh and blood over his duty as a conqueror? And who is to say Reiner is wrong for choosing his duty and ultimately the pride of his family over the supposed enemy? This is the duality of man, the expectations of who we should be and who we want to be. These characters show us that being a man is not always about making the right choice, but about living with the consequences of the choices we do make, learning from them, and to keep moving forward.